Hi folks, Ross here, and in this video I will be reviewing the latest game from Bloober Studios, The Medium. The Medium is a third-person psychological horror game where you play as Marianne, a young woman with an uncanny gift. She possesses the psychic ability to see and explore the spirit world, a dark mirror reflection of our reality where the things we repress can take on their own form. Marianne is haunted by a vision of a child's murder. She can't tell if this is a nightmare, a memory, or a premonition, and on the hardest day of her life, Marianne gets a phone call from a strange man who claims to know her and promises all her answers if she meets him at the Neva Hotel. The Medium is built around an underlying theme. In this game, it is how your perspective changes your perception. This theme permeates the whole game, including the story, gameplay, soundtrack, and even the art style. The Medium splits its gameplay into three different modes: the material world, the spirit world, and the split between the two. In the material world, things are as you would expect to find them, with Bloober Studios doing a fantastic job of creating a constantly tense feel with a semi-locked third-person camera that limits your ability to anticipate what may be lurking around corners or behind doors. The spirit world follows a similar pattern with the camera angle, but surprisingly, the spirit world makes you feel more safe given the fact that Marianne has certain abilities that will make life somewhat easier. What impressed me is when they decide to split the game to show you both the spirit world and the material world simultaneously. This adds a nice problem solving layer, as often you will need to perform an action in one world to allow you to progress in the other. Set in Poland in the late 90s, the game shies away from traditional jump scares and instead focuses on a disturbing and oppressive atmosphere to constantly keep the player on edge. As great a job as Bloober Studios have done in creating this atmosphere in the material world, it's the spirit world that's the highlight of this game. From the visceral landscapes to the creatures you encounter within this world, the spirit world retains the same disturbing atmosphere but builds on it by giving players a visual sense of dread to accompany the feeling of it. Now on to what may be my favourite part of this game, the soundtrack. I was told that the best way to experience this game was lights off and headphones on, so I decided to take this a step further, set up my surround sound so I got the full effects of this game. I knew this game was going to tick so many of the boxes I expect in a horror game when I saw that Akira Yamaoka would be taking charge of part of the soundtrack. For those of you who are unfamiliar with Yamaoka's work, he was in charge for the soundtrack for quite possibly the most disturbing horror series of all time, Silent Hill. Yamaoka has taken everything he used in that series and put it beautifully into the Medium. Very rarely do you ever feel at ease while playing the game, and this is a testament to how great the audio score is. Unfortunately, the game is not without faults, however, and I would say that while they are there, none of them are particularly big. The game is much shorter than I would have liked. I completed my playthrough in roughly about 12 to 15 hours, and whilst this may be a good length for the genre, I feel that it could have been fleshed out some more with the characters and the creatures that you experience, bringing this game closer to a 20, possibly even a 25-hour game. Going with the semi-fixed camera does add a layer of atmosphere to the game, but it does cause some issues regarding movement, especially when you're further away from where the camera is fixed. Lastly, and perhaps the most important issue I came across was after loading into certain areas was how long certain textures would take to load in. This immediately broke the immersion for me at certain points. Final thoughts on the Medium are that Bloober Studios have made one of the best psychological horrors in years. The story is solid, the audio and visual side of the game are absolutely spot on, and most importantly, the game never lets you relax, which is precisely what every horror game should strive for. This game will be in Game Pass on day of release and is a must download for anyone with a subscription. Anyway folks, that's all from myself. I hope you've enjoyed my review of The Medium, and if you like what you've heard on the channel, please make sure to hit the like button and subscribe, and I will see you all next time.